The statue of Sir Bobby Robson, Ipswich Town's legendary manager. 13 years in charge, he won 2 cup competitions, 27 years on. A man that's hoping to achieve legendary status, Roy Keane, can't even buy a win. We'll have more on tonight's game, surely, but first let's look back at yesterday's action between MK Dons and Norwich. The home side just pipping it at Stadium MK. So, 2 teams in a hurry to leave League One behind, but it was Norwich who didn't waste any time at Stadium MK. Chris Martin caught the Dons cold. They'd been playing for just 17 seconds. It was the Canaries' young team who had the better of the first half. Martin again could and probably should have made it 2-0. But with Paul Ince back in charge at MK Dons, a response was always on the cards. Wave after wave of attack eventually led to Dons winning a free kick. Jason Punchin, a thorn in the Canary side, stepped up and curled this beauty into the top corner. Norwich were unable to respond, and with 3 players off the field injured, Paul Lambert was unable to make changes. Then the game's defining moment. Martin again involved, a rash challenge, but was it a penalty? The referee waved play on, but his assistant spotted a foul. From this angle, it seems Martin may have touched the ball just before he tripped Lewis Goburn. It was given, and Peter Levin slotted home the winner. Lambert's view, a woeful decision, supported by Ince, who admitted their penalty was fortunate. The Dons' 2-1 win lifts them into the playoff places, while the Canaries stay mid-table. Well, it's damp here at Ipswich this evening, as it has been at Chelmsford all day. Sadly, no play today on day 1 of the county championship match between Essex and Northants, which is a real shame because they're lying 2nd and 3rd going into that match. Rather, let's get back to tonight's game between Ipswich and Nottingham Forest at Portman Road. I'm joined by Carl Day, who's the chairman of the independent Ipswich Town Supporters Trust. Carl, I talked about Sir Bobby Robson there. He didn't get off to the best of starts, did he, at Ipswich? And neither has Roy Keane.
Well, it's quite famous that Sir Bobby at the time, you know, when he was coming into the side, he was changing things, players were going, that there was calls for him to go, and the chairman obviously backed him with a 10-year contract. Now, there is some whispers amongst some of the minority supporters that, you know, Keane is not up to the mettle and should go. But in all fairness, he's bringing in new players left, front, and we've got 3 players making a home debut tonight. He's talking about bringing another 2 in by Saturday. He's rebuilding the side, and in all fairness, it's too early to even consider that kind of thing.
Roy Keane alluded to the fact that he'd made some mistakes so far this season. He didn't elaborate. What did you make of that?
Well, at the end of the day, you've got to be realistic. This is really his 3rd season. I mean, the biggest problem that Roy Keane's had is the first 2 results at the end of the season when he took over with the great results. Expectation went through the roof. And I think a lot of supporters thought we'd just walk this league. And I think it's a reality check now. And, you know, I think he's still learning. He's a young manager and he's still making progress as he's going.
Just briefly, how's it going to go tonight?
I think it's going to be a tight one, but I think we could get our first win tonight. I think it'll be by the odd goal, so it could be 2-1 to Ipswich.
OK, Carl, thanks ever so much for your time this evening. One other match to tell you about this evening. Peterborough United, like Ipswich Town, are also going for their first win of the new championship season. Posh, they're at Leicester this evening. And don't forget, you can hear both the matches, both Ipswich Town and Peterborough United, by tuning into your local BBC radio station this evening. And rest assured, we'll have the pick of the action tomorrow on Look East.
Tom, thank you very much. Now, it's the bane of every gardener's life. Getting your lawn in tip-top condition can be a full-time job, but some people decide that's just too much work and they buy a new one instead.
Extravagant. Well, turf is big business. For the latest in our series Made in the East, Richard Bond has been finding out where it all comes from.
Joseph Gromit decided he needed a new lawn, but he didn't want the hassle of seeding the ground himself, so he ordered turf.
The old lawn was past it, and I didn't want to wait 6 months for the lawn to grow again, so I just want some instant turf to go down, and so it makes the place look better.
Demand for lawn turf has created a new market for the region's farming industry. Today, one of Britain's biggest turf producers is based here in the Fens, on what was, until 15 years ago, a pig and dairy farm. 1,500 acres of green grass, pulling in millions of pounds of revenue each year. Kew Lawns is based in Hockwold. It supplies everyone from Windsor Castle to B&Q.
So we need to have a look at this one, Chris.
Years ago, if you had your lawn redone with turf, it was classed as being quite unique, quite a posh thing to do, but now it's commonplace. We're fortunate with the land because of its flatness and because of the stone. There's no stone in it, and the soil. We've also on the eastern side of the country, so we get the right weather. We can harvest it every day of the year.
The grass is grown on black fenland soil. The seed is drilled with this machine. As it grows, the grass is cut every 2 or 3 days with giant gang mowers. The groundsmen do this all day, every day.
Is your lawn at home as good as this?
No. It's not done as often or kept as nice, because when you've been mowing lawns all day, the last thing you want to do is go home and mow your own lawn.
After about 18 months, the grass is fit to be harvested. A tricky job, and again, one entrusted to a big bit of kit. A harvester which slices 2 square metres at a time. But the market for turf has taken a knock in the recession. Fewer new housing developments means fewer new lawns. But orders have increased from existing homeowners. Because we're going out less, we're spending more time in the garden. Some of us sitting on prime fenland turf. Richard Bond, BBC Look East, Norfolk.
You're thinking getting some of that for your patio?
No, I'm too lazy to mow the lawn, so I don't bother, just have a patio. It's much easier, and you know where you stand. You don't have to work too hard at the weekend.
So I just get the husband to do it. That's very easy.
Well, the upside of all this dry weather is that the grass isn't growing too quickly at the moment. Although, having said that, some of us have seen some rain today. For most of us, it's been cloudy but dry. But there has been some rain, mainly in the southeast of the region, and that's where we've got it at the moment. This is